as his DHS secretary took the hot seat.
Apologies, I don't remember specific words.
Your silence and your amnesia is complicit.
I've been very patient with this line of questioning. I am here to tell you about the threats our country faces.
The media on a new tear to push their narrative that President Trump is unfit to lead, despite his doctor saying that he's in excellent health.
He had great findings across the board, but the one that stands out more than anything to me is his cardiac health. His cardiac health is excellent.
He's borderline obese. Can you characterize that as excellent health?
Did you do a Hep C test? Does he take any sleep aids?
The time would have been better spent having that doctor assess everyone in that room.
The Dow Jones Industrial Average eclipsed the 26,000 mark for the first time.
Broken a lot of records. We're breaking another one today. The stock market is way up. Jobs are back.
Sing it, Toby. Hey, welcome to the Curvy Couch. And look who's here. Eric Trump.
Great to be here, guys, as always.
Good morning.
Son of President running the company.
It's the first time we've seen you, really, since you went ahead and became a dad.
It's amazing. Honestly, it's so Ainsley's seen me a couple times since, but the kid is the love of my life. I'm having so much fun.
I think he's the prettiest child I've ever seen.
Laura's like the greatest mother. He's got the Trump hair, right? He's got this big mohawk. It's he's just a great little
What's the
kid.
hardest part about being a dad?
You know, honestly, trying to balance work and kid. You know, I leave so early from my house. I go to work very early. I come back very late, and you know, you miss him during those hours.
Best part.
Yeah.
Oh God, just when he smiles. You know, when you have him on his lap and
That's great.
he smiles, he's the greatest.
Well, let's talk a little bit about what's going on. I'm sure you saw yesterday, as it turns out, your dad is in excellent health. That, according to Rear Admiral Dr. Ronnie Jackson, who did the president's physical on Friday at Walter Reed. He's in great health. He did the cognitive test, and I'm sure you saw the questions from the assembled media. They were extraordinary. Watch this.
Can you assess the president's mental fitness for office?
The president appeared to slur his words while giving an address. Did you look into what the cause of that might have been at all?
Are you ruling out things like early onset Alzheimer's? Are you looking at dementia-like symptoms?
Do you keep a tally of how much golf the U.S. president plays? Do you consider that exercise?
Can you explain to me how a guy who eats McDonald's and fried chicken and all those Diet Cokes and who never exercises is in as good a shape as you say he's in?
And this went on and on. Did you see any of it?
It's insane. In fact, they actually asked, does he use drugs? Now,
if he's addicted.
My father has never had a sip of alcohol in his life, right? I mean, he's talked about this so many times. He has never had a cigarette in his life. He is, you know, he has one of the cleanest lifestyles in the world. Is the president? I mean, these people
here's the question,
they have lost their minds. I mean, they have lost their minds.
What about the question, what's the life expectancy?
Think about that. Think about the question.
When's he going to die? That's what that says.
Think about the question, does he eat ice cream? I mean, this is insane. Like, where is the coverage of the economy at 26,000? Where is the coverage of unemployment being the lowest ever, consumer confidence being the highest ever, 4% GDP growth? I mean, I can go on and on and on. How about the fact that ISIS is, for all intents and purposes, gone, right? There are 44,000 ISIS terrorists, right? And there's less than 1,000 now. He's totally wiped them out, right? And they're talking about how many scoops of ice cream a person eats.
Eric,
John Carl's asking, does he eat McDonald's? I mean, give me a break, guys.
Can't this help him, though? Can't this backfire on the mainstream media? It'd be one thing if they were talking policy, but it's obvious that they are in the tank for the Democrats or for anyone against that would run against your father.
Hasn't it already? I mean, how trivial is this nonsense? I mean, I think it has. People are smart. People look through this, right? I mean, people see one thing. They see the green in their wallets. That's what people care about. They care about their 401ks. They care about, you know, their kids, their education, how they're living, the vacations they get to go on, how their businesses are doing, if they're employed, overall quality of life. You know, they don't care if somebody has a scoop of ice cream. I mean, they
yeah, but
it's insane.
If the doctor says that he's in good health and he's got good cognitive function as well, that flies in the face of the narrative they're trying to establish, which is he's crazy.
And anybody who knows my father could tell you that he has more energy than any human being. I mean, the guy has more energy than anybody I've ever met that's my age at 35. He's unbelievable. He doesn't stop. He's an absolute machine. I was saying this last night. I mean, I've never seen my father with a cold. You know, the man is really, really incredible. And anybody who knows him and speaks to him knows how sharp he is, and knows, you know, listen, he He's incredible up there. That's what's gotten him to the success that he's always had.
So let's look at his lifestyle change. It's not like he's usually somebody, he's had the same office for years, right? Went to the same place for years. So his lifestyle's changed radically at the age of 70 plus. So what has it been like when you talk to him offline, away from the cameras, when you maybe catch him at an event, when you say, Dad, what is it like doing these things while being divorced from the organization? What does he tell you?
Yeah, listen, when I say his spirits are high, that's an understatement. I mean, he's having a great time. He's doing an unbelievable job. The proof is in the pudding. You know, despite the nonsense, despite the noise and the chatter and, you know, the little sound bites and, you know, the sensational reporting, he is doing an unbelievable job. And that's
we're 48 hours from a shutdown. That is a stressful situation. What does he tell you about that?
He's, you know, I actually try not to ask him about government.
You're not allowed to,
I don't.
right?
You know, I keep a very, you know, strict wall right there. But I can tell you his spirits are incredibly high. He's doing a phenomenal job. Everybody that I come across, everybody I see on the street every single day, they're telling me what a great job he's doing for them. He's doing a great job for this country. He's delivering the promises. People are so sick of politicians actually not delivering the promises that they ran on, right? He just got tax reform. The economy is absolutely booming. He's bringing jobs back to this nation. He's bringing manufacturing back to this nation. I mean, this country is becoming wealthy again. He's doing what he promised he would do.
What's your reaction to all these businesses that are giving the $1,000 bonuses? We had a man this morning who actually is putting on the check in the memo, it's because of the president and the tax cuts.
If I was Democrats, I'd be very scared of that, honestly. You know, $1,000, and they're going across. These are major companies who are giving them to tens and tens and tens of thousands of employees. I mean, well over 1 million people in this country have gotten major unexpected bonuses because of the tax plan that they put through. That is an incredible thing. That means that this system is working. People are reinvesting in their employees. It's exactly what my father wanted to happen. He wanted wages to go up. He wanted unemployment to go down. I mean, America is being successful again, and America is attracting businesses again.
Sure. And yesterday, briefly, the Dow touched 26,000, which is unbelievable. When it ended down a little lower by the end of the day. But there you can see the Dow milestones as your father has been president of the United States. That is something tangible. There's more money in people's pockets. There are more people with jobs.
Steve, literally a week ago, we were talking about how we hit 25,000. 2 weeks before that, we were talking about how we hit 24,000. A couple weeks before that, we were talking about how we hit 23,000. I mean, you open up your 401k, it's up by 35% right now, 30%. I mean,
that's a 701k.
Think about how great that is. Think about how positive that is for America. And then you have these people talking about ice cream. I mean, it's insane.
Well, let's talk about, too, the theme since last Thursday has been your dad, according to people in that meeting, says some things about race and that people are calling him a racist for the last 5 or 6 days. I know you don't agree with that, but is there anything you could bring to this conversation you think is important?
My father sees one color, green. That's all he cares about. He cares about the economy. Right? He does not see race. He's the least racist person I've ever met in my entire life. It's total nonsense. And, you know, at the same time they're saying that, they'll never report that African-American unemployment is the lowest it's ever been. The lowest it's ever been in this country. They won't give him any credit for that. And by the way, he campaigned on that. But then they'll go out and call him racist. It's very sad. It's a race to the bottom. They stoop very, very low. And the reason they do that is they don't have their own message. I mean, what is the message on the Democratic side right now? Who are the front runners? I mean, what do they stand for? They don't stand for anything. They've been obstructionists.
They've wasted
a tremendous amount of money. They come out no matter what he did. If he was to solve cancer tomorrow, they would criticize him for it. I mean, it's very, very sad, and that's not a winning recipe. The reason he won the election is he had a message that actually resonated with the people of this country. That failed when they did. I mean, whatever happened to learning from past experience, learning from lessons.
How did that state go from Chris Christie to this? Because complete opposites.
I know, it is. And listen, I think Chris was a great man, and he was obviously very supportive.
But it's a very
of the
liberal
family,
state.
Yeah, there's no question about it. There's no question about it. But when do we get back to, and listen, I'm the product of immigration. My mom was born in a different country, but there's a difference. There's legal immigration versus illegal immigration. I mean, when do we put the emphasis on legal immigration, and when do we make illegal immigration much tougher? And it seems like they're actually trying to do the exact reverse.
And it sounds like that's one of the reasons your dad was not crazy about the deal last Thursday, because essentially it was amnesty, not doing it the proper way.
Yeah, he wants merit-based immigration, and that's how it should be.
I know you had a huge adjustment as a parent. Yeah. But what is it like, you and your brother running an organization, seeing that office empty? What is the Trump organization like?
Yeah, listen, we're doing great as a company. We've got the best hotels in the world. We've got the best golf course. There's great commercial buildings. I mean, everything. We're having so much fun, and I love working with Don every day. And, you know, listen, there's an element you miss, right? I miss seeing Ivanka every day. I miss seeing my father every day. We used to always trade little notes back and forth, and you know how close of a family we are. I mean, we absolutely love each other. We fight for each other. We would do anything for each other. So you miss that little part, but at the same time, you know, every time I look up and I'm watching Fox and I see him up there, and I'm proud of him. I'm proud of everything he's accomplished. He's done an unbelievable job, and he's far exceeded every expectation I have of him, and I knew he was going to do an incredible job when he got in there.
And it's only year one so far. All right.
And you did break news. You're watching Fox at the Trump Tower. I did not know that.
There you go. All right.
A lot of Fox at Trump Tower, Brian. I wouldn't disappoint you, I promise.
Good job, Eric. Congratulations on everything.
Thanks, Eric. Right behind you is Jillian, and she's got some headlines.
Morning. Good morning to you at home as well. Let's get you caught up on some of your headlines of the day, starting with this Fox News alert. A former CIA agent under arrest for stashing classified information may have been spying for China. According to reports, officials think Jerry Chun-Shing Lee could have played a key role in the execution or imprisonment of U.S. informants. The DOJ says Lee left the agency in 2007. In 2012, agents found secret meeting locations and contact information for covert operatives in a notebook in his hotel rooms. The 53-year-old was arrested at New York's JFK airport. Now to extreme weather. Nearly 100 flights at the world's busiest airport in Atlanta canceled as a dangerous winter storm heads east. Here's a live look at the roads there now. You can see it doesn't look too bad at this point, but you can see that snow on the side of the road. In Boston, there's about an inch of snow on the ground already. And this is what it looks like in upstate New York. Some cities and towns there could see up to a foot of snow. Former U.S. Congressman Dennis Kucinich is running for governor of Ohio. The Democrat just made the big announcement right here on Fox and Friends. He says he can appeal to the state's Trump voters.
I can show them that there are Democrats who stand solidly for economic progress, who want to protect our markets, who want to stand up for everyday Americans. So, you know, to me, that's my constituency too.
Kucinich will announce his official platform later today, so stay tuned for that. That's a look at your headlines, and we'll send it back to you guys.
Busy day. Thanks, Jillian.
Okay.
Hey, I got to tell you what's coming up straight ahead. Senator Cory Booker.
She didn't know where to look. Which camera?
Okay.
We got it.
All right. All right. Hey, Senator Cory Booker lashing out at Homeland Security Secretary Kirstjen Nielsen on Capitol Hill.
The language festers. When ignorance and bigotry is allied with power, your silence and your amnesia is complicity.
Is that okay? Your emails are pouring in. We'll share them.
And the video is absolutely insane. It's a speeding.
So the Secretary of Homeland Security was up on Capitol Hill answering questions from U.S. senators yesterday, and it was contentious. It was learned, and this was interesting, when queried a number of times about the use of the president's language earlier on Thursday, where he made some comments that have angered a lot of people. She revealed that there were a number of people in that room using the same kind of language.
That's right. Her name is Kirstjen Nielsen, and she was there to talk about the threats that our country faces as the DHS secretary. Well, Cory Booker, who's a senator who sits on the Judiciary Committee, was in the room, and he wanted to question her. There were 5 senators that questioned her, 5 Democrats, about the president's language last week when he was talking about other countries. Instead of talking about border security, he wanted to question her about that and really yell at her about that. Listen to this.
The commander-in-chief in an Oval Office meeting referring to people from African countries and Haitians with the most vile and vulgar language. The language festers. When ignorance and bigotry is allied with power, it is a dangerous force in our country. Your silence and your amnesia is complicity.
And he was angry because she said she didn't remember the president saying it.
Almost every Democratic senator wanted to know what went on in that meeting. We weren't talking at all about immigration reform or border security or what she needed. Stephen writes this about Cory Booker's reaction. Keep in mind, he's running for president, and he did the same thing. He grandstanded with Senator Sessions. All of a sudden wasn't acceptable to be attorney general. He said this: I was not sure if he was auditioning for SNL or Shakespeare in the Park, but the one thing he was most definitely not auditioning for was the part of the U.S. senator.
Sorry, that's pretty funny. Shakespeare in the Park.
Right.
Sorry.
All right. So Max emailed, his display shows what is wrong in politics today. We want to hear solutions to problems, not partisan banter.
And then Ron said, and he demands respect for others, theatrical showboating at the expense of a very respectful woman. I can understand if he has a problem with what the president allegedly said, if he said it, and then you talk to the president about it. But look at this picture. I mean, that's what he was doing to the lady who is the Secretary of Homeland Security.
Well, he had questions, and she didn't answer them to his liking, apparently.
I know, keep emailing us. That was pretty funny.
All right. 8:20 now here in New York City.
All right. We have a serious topic to talk to you about. It involves the flu, the deadly epidemic. It is striking again. Look at the newest victim. He's a cute 10-year-old little boy. The chilling new warning this morning.
Plus, time is running out for Congress to avoid a government shutdown at midnight on Friday, but Stuart Varney says, let it shut down. Go ahead.
Let it happen.
Why?
I'm going to do the headlines right now by myself, even though I could get help. A father suffering a massive heart attack minutes after a false missile alert in Hawaii. The Honolulu Star reports Sean Shields got violently ill during the panic, calling his kids to say what he thought was a final goodbye. Shields and his girlfriend driving to a hospital where he had emergency heart surgery. He's going to be okay. And a plastic surgeon is accused of showing up drunk for a procedure. Dr. Theodore Gerstel, if he's your doctor, switch out. He walked out of a Kentucky hospital after a staff confronted him. He was arrested and charged with public intoxication. Plastic surgeons should be sober. I've always said that.
Yeah, not good for his future medical
24
career.
minutes after the hour, let's bring in a man that I talk to a lot. Stuart Varney from Varney & Company.
Greetings.
On from 9 to noon.
Greetings.
Shut down? You want to shut down Stuart Varney?
In my opinion, it is in the national interest to fix immigration and fix military spending. Those are national priorities. I don't care who gets the blame for a shutdown, but it would certainly bang heads together. It would certainly increase the pressure to get this done, do your job, make compromises. That's what politicians are supposed to do, and fix the mess.
You know who's on your side is the House Freedom Caucus, because they say they took a look at how things are as of last night, and they said we can't vote for this thing right now, this continuing resolution to fund the government, because essentially the same thing you said, spending too much money and not fixing things.
What's wrong with a deal that says build the wall, end chain migration, end the lottery system, but let the dreamers stay? That's compromise on both sides.
That's what
that
President
would fix
Trump wants.
That's what he wants. What's wrong with that? Now, you shut the government down and you put a great deal of pressure on those people in Congress. Get it done.
401ks are looking good. Stock market hit a record high yesterday.
Have you seen all the smiles that are around this building and in other big corporations in America? That's because in the first couple of weeks of January, big companies have to report to their employees the status of their 401ks. They open up the 401k, their pension plan, and boy, oh boy, are they smiling, because most people are up between a quarter and a third because of this stock market rally. And by the way, when the market opens 1 hour from now, we're going to make another run at 26,000.
So I was stunned to see, as I was going through the New York Times today, a story that should have been on page 1. It was on page 8 at the bottom. It was about the economy and the increase in popularity of the tax reform plan that was passed. Take a look at this quote from the New York Times. Falling unemployment, accelerating economic growth, and a surging stock market have made Americans increasingly positive about their own finances and overall economy. Buried in the paper and credited primarily from the tax plan.
Yeah. I read it.
So what is your take on burying the lead that actually is a legitimate story?
It's par for the course. We've seen this over the past year. Anything that might be considered positive for President Trump is relegated either to the back page or no page at all.
Or credit the previous administration.
This is wrong. The president reversed the failing policies of President Obama. He reversed all this regulation. He reversed the tax situation, and we've got growth. We've got strong economic growth and a big stock market rally. That is largely because of President Trump. Case closed.
And you know, Stuart, for the people who don't have stocks and feel like they're not involved in that, and their company didn't give them a $1,000 or $2,000 bonus, coming up in the next month, they're going to start to feel less withholding taken out, and so they're going to essentially get a little raise right there.
Everybody who pays federal income tax will get a lower tax rate come February. They'll see it in their paychecks. Everybody who pays federal income tax will get a higher paycheck. And this stock market rally, this economic boom, it's pointing towards prosperity in the future. That's what you've got to look forward to. When walking down that road, we're on that road, We're not going to divert from it. We've got tax cuts, we've got deregulation, we've got growth, prosperity. Full speed ahead.
Don't need a marketing plan. You just need people to feel the difference.
Well, you need a media which is honest and which reports what's going on to the important points in our lives. Since when has the economy and prosperity not been important to all of us?
Well, they got
the readers know that. The readers know that. They know when they see it on the bottom of page 8 that should be a lead story because it affects their
barrage of distraction from what's really going on with our financial lives.
Yeah.
Oh, who could miss it, for heaven's sake?
In fairness to the media, they did get bad news. The president will survive. So they had to
very
overcome
disappointed
that.
this morning.
Yeah, I think they are, actually.
Yeah.
They got a black eye from that press conference.
They did.
Really do.
I think they did.
Yeah, it's pretty
Thank you,
obvious.
Steve. Thank you all.
Thanks,
All right,
Stuart.
let's keep in touch.
Meanwhile, companies nationwide are spreading the wealth thanks to the president's tax plan, as we were just talking. One CEO is making sure his employees know exactly who to thank by putting Trump's name right on their bonus check. Look at that. Down on the memo line, Trump tax cut and jobs.
And a lot of people worried about Pete Hegseth and what he's having for breakfast.
We know Pete Hegseth's name. He's right now at Mama's West Cafe in Hillsboro, Ohio, having breakfast with friends. Good morning to you, Pete.
Good morning. It has been a great morning here. Talk about great people in great country. This is Highland County. It went 76% for President Trump in the election. The editor of the newspaper here said, come out to Trump country and actually talk to voters, which is exactly what we've been doing all morning long. We've got a great group here. Sue works at Walmart. Alex is a realtor. Larry owns a construction business, and Daphne is a nurse. All Trump supporters with messages this morning. Nancy Pelosi said that breadcrumbs are what these $1,000 bonuses are. What does a $1,000 bonus mean to real people?
Well, for one thing, it's a very, very big deal. You know, when you work for a company and they want to give you $1,000 just because our president gave us a tax break, to me, it's a big deal. We've been called deplorables and everything else, but this deplorable appreciates those breadcrumbs.
Very much. You also had something to say about respect of this president.
Yes, the disrespect our president has been shown is just, it really bothers me. I've prayed about it many, many times. I wasn't an Obama fan, but I never treated him with disrespect. And no matter who your president is, he deserves respect.
Absolutely. Alex, you say that there's a misunderstanding, especially in the so-called mainstream media, about rural America.
In the mainstream media, in the left, on university campuses, in the liberal elite, there's a huge misunderstanding of rural America and, frankly, white America. I know we have unpleasant factions on both sides among our country, but the average, the normal person in this area, in the heartland, so to speak, is not preoccupied with race. That's not what we get up and talk about, if at all, ever. We're talking about the economy, we're talking about jobs, how to make America safe, how to make America great again. That's what we want. The only color we're occupied with is green, the economy, not these racial differences that so often the liberals want to pit us against each other.
It's a great point, great point. Larry, you are also, in addition to being a small business owner, your wife owns this fantastic restaurant. You talked about the dinner table. What conversations are being had by regular Americans?
A lot about jobs. The fact that in the last 7-8 years, workers have been pretty hard pressed to come by, and it's just like the doors have opened up on work. You know, there's a lot more work. Matter of fact, our local lumberyard here, they have Fox News on all day long.
Thank you. Give them a shout out. Who are they?
Kemper's Lumberyard.
Kemper's Lumberyard. Thank you very much for watching us. We appreciate it.
When you come in behind the counter, there's a huge screen TV. Fox is on all day. I mean, they're all supporters of you. They're supporters of Trump. One of my big beefs is this wall. To me, he is trying to protect us as a people, and I see the Democrats protecting illegal aliens, and what they don't understand about the word illegal is confusing.
Last time I checked, it's illegal. Daphne, you're, as a nurse, what are the issues that you want to see the most happen out of this president?
Well, the biggest thing for me is border security. I have a 21-year-old and an 18-year-old going to college. One's getting ready to move to Houston. I want to know that they're safe. And if we don't stop the constant influx of illegal immigrants coming in, I agree with you. I don't understand why they don't understand that that's illegal, just them being here. is illegal.
It strikes me a lot of the things the president are pursuing is just common sense, the type of things
Yes.
that resonate with regular folks.
Yes.
Absolutely. Well, I gotta say, we do a lot of these diners. Hillsborough, y'all are awesome. All right. Thank you very much for having us here. A ton of common sense from these folks. And the folks that say the polls that President Trump approval rating has gone down, don't believe them. Sounds like fake news to me. They're as enthusiastic here as they've always been. This is also called the Sasquatch. It's 1 full pound of beef, and I'm going to eat it as you guys continue.
Can we
to work.
please zoom in a little bit to just see that a little better, the Sasquatch?
Look at that.
Okay, let's see.
It looks delicious.
Oh, very nice.
Looks so good.
All right, Pete, that was
The
excellent.
big burger.
And by the way, fake news awards are tonight, aren't they?
That's right.
Do we have an outfit picked out? Have we rented a tux?
I wonder if there's going to be trophies.
I'll make the popcorn.
Well, okay, fine.
We'll if you're not going to be watching tonight, we'll have the winners or losers tomorrow on the show. All right. It is 22 minutes now before the top of the hour.
A woman, not a loser.
Thank you.
Right. Winner.
Not today. Guys, let's get you caught up on the deadly flu outbreak. This is just crazy. It's striking again. This time, a 10-year-old boy, Nico Malozzi, died the same day he was rushed to the hospital, coming home from a hockey tournament in upstate New York. Health officials say he also had pneumonia. The CDC says at least 20 children have died from flu-related illnesses in the U.S. this season. Experts urging everyone to get the flu shot. The virus is now widespread in every state except Hawaii. Heart-stopping video shows the moment fishermen jump overboard to escape death. Just stop what you're doing and watch this video.
Hey! 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 Oh my God!
Wow, that boat showing no signs of stopping, plowing right into the small boat in Oregon. One of the quick-thinking fishermen now suing the driver of the other boat, claiming they were speeding and distracted by a cell phone. The fishing boat is wrecked, but no one seriously hurt. Companies across America spreading the wealth thanks to the president's tax cuts. Now, one small business owner is letting his employees know just where their bonuses came from by writing in the check's memo, Trump Tax Cut and Jobs Act. Sheldon Wolf, the founder and CEO of SpellX, a software development company, joined us earlier.
I wanted to do it because I'm excited about the new tax plan from Trump and the GOP, and I wanted to share the wealth, as they say.
Wolf says while most of his employees are not fans of President Trump, no one complained. That's a look at your headlines, and I know you guys talked to him earlier. It's pretty interesting.
No one's complaining about getting $1,000.
That's right. He was a small business guy, but saw the big corporations giving out the dough and thought, you know what, we can afford to do that too.
Right, and with this, thank you very much, Shirley. With this tax cut, I got Janice Dean a brand new umbrella from Rick Reichmuth. With the tax cut, I was able to afford it.
My Weatherman umbrella made by our very own Rick
They're
Reichmuth.
awesome. They're so
I hope
good.
I get a percentage.
Yes, I hope so too.
Checks in the mail, Janice.
It matches my outfit. How's that? You know what? This was what we would call a wintry mix, by the way. We've got some snow and some sleet and some rain mixed in, and this is kind of not the greatest of all weather to be traveling in. So let's take a look at the map, shall we? I will show you where the temperatures are around the freezing mark in New York City, 33, and then behind this, there's that Arctic cold front where it's 15 in Dallas and it's 20 in New Orleans, and with the wind chill, it feels even colder than that. Talking about below zero, -5 in Memphis, 15 in Dallas, 11 in San Antonio. We actually had snow across the Gulf Coast, including Houston, Texas yesterday. Now into the Panhandle in New Orleans, as well as coastal Mississippi and Alabama. Now in towards the Carolinas, up towards the Mid-Atlantic and the Northeast, where we're right on the cusp of that snow here in New York. Not going to get a lot of snow along the coast, but it's north and west of New York City where we could get the jackpot there, and also parts of North Carolina getting a lot of snow as well. So not a big bomb cyclone, my friends, but it is going to cause some problems on the roadway. So just be careful. Are you adjusting yourself, Ainsley? I saw that.
My skirt's coming up. Gotta pull it down.
The things we have to do, my friend.
All right.
Don't feel sorry for me. You're out there in the elements.
Oh, it's okay. I'm warm.
She's 4 feet from the door. She'll be right in.
Come on in.
All right. Meanwhile, there's a new warning from the Department of Homeland Security to sanctuary city leaders. Cooperate, or you could wind up with criminal charges. How would that work? Kansas Secretary of State Chris Kobach on deck with that next.
Plus, one state is rallying to raise its minimum wage up to $15 an hour. But will that actually do more harm than good? Former Labor Secretary nominee Andy Puzder on that coming up.